Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Coming up tonight, Kwesi Thompson officially enters the F&M leadership race. Outrage after a woman is hit by a car. The former AG denies claims of political prosecutions, and a Carnival event ends with soca citations. Welcome to our news, and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, as the Free National Movement leadership race heats up, Kwesi Thompson officially nominated today. He has the support of former Attorney General Carl Bethel and the wife of the party's founding father. Bethany McDermott reports.
It's now official. You're now nominated.
East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kwesi Thompson was the first to make his leadership nomination official ahead of the F&M's convention on November 27th. Thompson said the focus moving forward must be uniting the F&M.
We are stronger when we are united. How do we unite our party? By going back to the principles and values that those same dissident eight and the founding fathers formed this party for.
Thompson was surrounded by his wife and a group of supporters, including former Attorney General Carl Bethel. He described the three leadership candidates as upstanding men, but said he's backing Thompson. Bethel said he believes Thompson is the best person to rebuild the party after its crushing defeat in the September 16th election.
He has the best, I believe, institutional knowledge of the workings and the inner workings of the party, which is critical for the success of any leader, because he must be someone who understands how the party works. Before you can shape something in your own image, you need to understand and appreciate all of the strengths and all of the weaknesses. Kwesi has that quality.
Bethel also boasted of Thompson's performance as State Finance Minister in the Minnis cabinet, adding the foundation laid by Thompson has improved the country's financial state.
The fiscal resources of this country are in enormously good shape. You saw in the paper today, $90 million over projection surplus. Okay, this isn't just happened since the 16th of September. The foundations for that has been laid prior to that by the Minnis administration. And the person with the day-to-day management of the finance and the budget that led to these developments was Kwesi Thompson.
Also backing Thompson is Naomi Wallace-Whitfield, wife of F&M founder Sir Cecil Wallace-Whitfield.
I'm supporting Mr. Thompson. I've worked with him over the last 5 years. I've seen his passion for the Bahamas, for Grand Bahama, for the people.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
In other news, after a woman was struck by a car in what police are saying was a domestic dispute, the Crisis Center is renewing its plea for victims to come forward for help. Jillian Gray has that.
That plea from police for people to calmly resolve domestic disputes comes after a woman was beaten and ran over on Key West Street yesterday.
A lady was struck by a vehicle. On the arrival of the first responder, they met a lady lying on the street with multiple abrasions about her body. The initial investigations revealed that there was an altercation between the lady and a gentleman, and as a result of this altercation, the male got into his vehicle, circled the area, and when he returned, he ran the lady over with the vehicle.
The man then hit a truck parked on the side of the road, and when he tried to escape, neighbors restrained him until police came. The woman who was taken to hospital is listed as stable. This video, circulated purporting to be that of the incident, has caused widespread outrage.
It's important for us to be outraged and for voices to be heard, because for too long we've been silent. For too long, the community has been watching and seeing things happen, but not doing anything.
According to police crime statistics, domestic reports increased by 84% in 2021, and assault was up by 87%. Startling statistics, according to founder of the Crisis Center, Sandra Dean Patterson, who says she hopes seeing the video encourages people to take action when they see these acts.
You know, you think that what happens in a household is private and you don't talk about it, or whether it's the tolerance that we have and the acceptance that we have for intimate partner violence and family violence that continues. But hopefully this can bring a stop. Just the visible sight of this has to make people realize we can't have this happening in our country.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Well, one day after that woman was run over by a vehicle in broad daylight, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the incident is inexcusable. Jasmine Brown reports.
The National Security Minister weighing in on the shocking crime outside Cabinet as he described the matter as more than just a domestic dispute.
Regardless of what stresses of life occasion you, there is no excuse for that type of violence towards each other. I'm not interested in any excuse about money problems, about the woman troubling you, about her rowing. You just walk away.
The incident unfolded shortly after 3 p.m. on Key West Street after a man ran over a woman with a car in what police are describing as a domestic dispute. At the scene, Assistant Superintendent of Police Audley Peters said the man was taken into custody and the woman was alive and appeared to be coherent when emergency medical services took her away from the scene.
That's completely unacceptable. When I was raised that you didn't hit women. That's much more than hitting a woman. And so we have to address, again, as I say, the socialization of persons. We have to address the anger that seems to be rampant in this country.
Police also confirmed that the pair had been arguing before the incident took place. Surveillance footage that reportedly shows the incident has made the rounds on social media.
If it's the videos that I saw with a woman being beaten and then ran over at high speed, I would call that more than a domestic dispute. You think of a domestic dispute as a row. That's much more than a row.
The incident comes amid heightened national concern over violence in the home after a 4-year-old girl was beaten to death just over a week ago. Only days later, police reported that a man had been stabbed by his girlfriend, who suspected that he had sexually assaulted her 12-year-old daughter. Minister of State in the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, Lisa Ramming, says the incidents have prompted the ministry to take a more proactive approach.
This is an opportunity for our whole country, our nation, to stand together. And if we know that there's somebody being abused, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, we're asking you to reach out. Reach out to social services, reach out to the urban centers. We are here for you. We want to make a difference. But we can't help if we do not know.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Shifting gears now, former Attorney General Carl Bethel says he's not getting into a public back and forth with Attorney General Ryan Pinder, who revealed the former administration spent over $1 million on what he labeled political prosecutions.
Already addressed that as Attorney General. You can check the record. I spoke about it. I cautioned the then opposition about seeking for political purposes to characterize prosecutions undertaken by a constitutionally independent Director of Public Prosecutions and characterizing them as political prosecutions. I cautioned them against that. My cautionary words continue. That is not the ethos of this office. Okay, so I will not be publicly engaging in an argument with the Honorable Attorney General.
Bethel also defended the former administration's fiscal plan, which he says the new government is benefiting from.
We left them an economy distinctly on an upward trajectory, on a good rebound, and they've got the benefit of it. So, I commend them for being able to enjoy the benefits of the efforts of Minister Kwesi Thompson and the administration as a whole.
Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Bowleg says he's not surprised by issues outlined in an audit of the National Sports Authority. Giorgio Bain reports.
There were some things that came to light It's again not up to me, but up to the Prime Minister if they're going to do anything with that.
The audit raised questions about the issuance of several contracts, including a $168,000 contract awarded without board approval and a 5-year $45,000 landscaping contract for a tennis center not managed by the NSA. Boleg says the details in the audit are not surprising.
I wouldn't say there was a surprise, but knowing some of the information prior to the election and prior to the former minister having to resign, it's just facts that came to light, that's all.
The 31-page audit covered the period July 1st, 2018 to January 31st, 2021. The Office of the Auditor General concluded there were many failures of executive management in breach of the Financial Administration and Audit Act, Financial Regulations, and the Sports Authority Act. The review also raised concerns about poor maintenance practices, inadequate inventory controls, asset management, contracts, segregation of duties, aging receivables, boards not available to carry out NSA functions, and stadium security. Boleg says he will be moving swiftly to correct these issues.
I know that there are some things that needs to be fixed, which I will have the power to fix, and that's with some personnel as it relates to ensuring that things that are supposed to be done in the right way as it relates to the financing and the controlling of the financing as it relates to contracts is done in the proper order.
Those changes are expected to take place as soon as the NSA board is appointed.
We will then make sure that whatever personnel needs to be changed or added to make sure that these efficiencies don't happen again.
Reporting for our news, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Authorities issuing citations following a Carnival bubble event that saw large crowds gathering and scores of people marching maskless behind a large truck.
I've seen a video and I was advised by the Commissioner of Police that there was an event at, I think it was Breezes, that when the vehicles were leaving, the patrons left the property and followed the vehicle. That came to the attention of the police, who investigated and issued citations. I cannot say what the citations were for.
The all-inclusive private Carnival getaway and fetcation was held on the day the state of emergency ended. Partygoers were required to present negative COVID tests.
There's some circumstances surrounding the bubble, but I'm informed that the individuals who were marching came out of the bubble and were not able to go back in. So it was not a part of the event. But again, we must be careful and we must be vigilant and to be able to ensure that the public health protocols are put in place.
A cloudy evening in the capital. Greg Thompson has the latest from the Weather Center.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome everybody for your first look at weather on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Temperatures are very comfortable on the outside right now. They are at 77 degrees on the partly cloudy to cloudy skies. It's breezy out there. The winds are out of the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. And your feels-like temperature in the mid-70s. Satellite view, stationary frontal boundary still hanging out across the central Bahamas with some cloudiness associated with that extending back across the northwest Bahamas. We expect this boundary to lift towards north, so some more moisture will continue for tonight to tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stay with us. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, the Marco alert system tested with Alive. And the Anglican bishop calls for a family court amid reports of child abuse. The details after this.
Affordable, reliable internet connectivity is more crucial than ever. It's how we work, play, and connect to the people we love. That's why Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is the leader in enabling connective lifestyles and experiences. So we've created a campaign called Connecting People Who Care.
Here's how it works, exactly how it sounds. We've chosen 3 nonprofits who utilize Cable Bahamas services: the Bahamas Red Cross, Hands for Hunger, and Bahamas Harvest Church. Each of these groups has chosen a hero within their organization. The organization and hero to receive the most votes will be eligible for 6 months of free services, and our hero will be eligible for $5,000 in cash and prizes.
For more information or to vote for the person or organization you love, visit rev.bs/Connecting People Who Care.
Our winner will be announced live on Facebook during the week of Thanksgiving.
The long-awaited Marco Alert system has been tested on Alive's network. It's similar to the Amber Alert in the U.S., which is a voluntary partnership involving law enforcement agencies, broadcasters, transportation agencies, and the wireless industry to activate an urgent bulletin in child abduction cases.
There was a technical test yesterday at Alive, which I understand was successful. I'm made to understand that there'll be a test again on Wednesday.
Last week, the National Security Minister said BTC had completely and utterly dropped the ball. BTC said in a statement it remains committed to working with the government to deliver on objectives outlined in its 10-point plan.
We hope to meet with BTC this coming Thursday. BTC would point out that they have international connection through cable and wireless. It strikes me then that they would have resources to be able to put themselves in a position to test as Alive has tested. And once the full system is tested, then I would hope that we can roll it out in as short a time as possible.
Amid heightened focus on child abuse and domestic violence, the Anglican bishop is calling for the establishment of a family court. During the Anglican Synod, he also warned that the church cannot turn a blind eye to this issue. Vonik Toot reports.
There are many Bellas out there. Girls, boys, men, women, who are victims of physical, mental, and emotional violence. We in the church must not turn a blind eye to this.
Bishop of the Anglican Diocese, Leish Boyd, speaking out on the tragic death of 4-year-old Bella Walker, who was brutally assaulted earlier this month. An autopsy revealed the child had suffered broken ribs and punctured internal organs. Walker's mother and her boyfriend have been charged in connection with her death, which sparked national outrage. Days after the incident, a mother stabbed her boyfriend, whom she suspected of sexually assaulting her 12-year-old daughter. Boyd called on lawmakers to establish a family court.
This will take the strain off the general court system and form a more direct reach into a special and critical area of need.
The Anglican bishop noted that increased hardship and loss of income during the COVID-19 pandemic have heightened tensions and resulted in more people seeking help due to violence in the home. He said the Anglican Church wants to do its part through a diocesan think tank chaired by Reverend Angela Palacios. During his charge at the 118th session of the Diocesan Synod, Boyd also said the large margin of victory and low voter turnout during the September 16th general election have caused him great concern. 65% of voters exercised their right to vote, down from 20% in the 2017 election.
Do you know how long the world fought for one person, one vote? Even right here in our islands. And some of us are throwing it away. Nothing should discourage or disillusion a person from exercising that right. If you throw it away, it is foolishness.
The Progressive Liberal Party secured 32 seats, while the Free National Movement won 7 seats.
While these victories are victories fair and square, such margins might encourage a government to be less fair and less than even-handed. The overall national good could be in jeopardy if a government is not upright, transparent, and accountable, and appearing to be so.
He encouraged leaders not to use their majority to pander to their base or sell old scores. Reporting for our News, I'm Vonik Toot.
Well, on Wednesday, Royal Caribbean will officially introduce the Odyssey of the Seas, its newest luxury liner to the port of Nassau. Jerome Sawyer got a glimpse into what's expected for this destination.
When Royal Caribbean's cruise business stopped in March 2020, ports of call all over the Bahamas shut down as well. 18 months later, with 18 of their 20 ships sailing again, Bahamian ports of call are now hanging their open for business signs as well. But it's all come with a price. A weekend familiarization on the Odyssey of the Seas allowed us to see the stringent safety requirements that allow guests to move around in what they describe as an onboard bubble.
All crew are fully vaccinated and our guests are pretty much around 95% fully vaccinated.
we do get COVID. Everybody's tested before they come on the ship. All guests are tested, and of course, all crew are tested on a weekly basis. We have a very low prevalence of COVID positive on board the ships itself. If we do have a COVID positive case on board, the guest is immediately quarantined. We have a contact tracing process, so we immediately identify anyone in their circle of connection, and they then are tested and quarantined, and the positive cases are often sent home.
The cruise line has a tried and tested COVID prevention program. Even the day excursion to Coco Key in the Berries kept guests and employees in a contained environment. But cruising safe is just one part of the comeback. A $300 million marketing campaign is targeted at restoring the 6 million passengers who cruise with them annually, now at only about 500,000. And even with new opportunities at competing ports in the Americas and Asia, the Bahamas continues to be an attractive destination for future growth.
We're currently in discussions and hoping to finalize negotiations for a development on Paradise Beach called the Royal Beach Club, and we think we're quite close to that. We are also in discussions with the Bahamian government and various partners on a development in Freeport at the Grand Lucayan Hotel Complex Resort and the Port of Freeport.
For 2.5 decades, Royal Caribbean has offered a private island shore excursion to Coco Key. It's a model they hope to bring to more family islands and keys, but there are some hurdles.
One of the challenges is the size of the smaller islands, and then of course the infrastructure to support tourism. So these are multi-year projects.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
Up next, Junkanoo plans still up in the air, and tips to keep you safe this holiday season. Stay with us.
Affordable, reliable internet connectivity is more crucial than ever. It's how we work, play, and connect to the people we love. That's why Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is the leader in enabling connective lifestyles and experiences. So we've created a campaign called Connecting People Who Care.
Here's how it works, exactly how it sounds. We've chosen 3 nonprofits who utilize Cable Bahamas services: the Bahamas Red Cross, Hands for Hunger, and Bahamas Harvest Church. Each of these groups has chosen a hero within their organization. The organization and hero to receive the most votes will be eligible for 6 months of free services, and our hero will be eligible for $5,000 in cash and prizes.
For more information or to vote for the person or organization you love, visit rev.bs/Connecting People Who Care.
Our winner will be announced live on Facebook during the week of Thanksgiving.
This is our news. Welcome back. Culture Minister Mario Bowleg says plans for Junkanoo season are still unclear as his ministry awaits proposals from the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence on a proposed virtual parade.
JCNP is supposed to get back to my ministry. They have some ideas about some virtual Junkanoo that we are willing to support once they provide us with the necessary protocols that will meet the standard of the Ministry of Health. Once they provide me with that information, I will then seek guidance from my colleagues in Cabinet, and then we'll determine if those parade will come off.
Bowleg explains what will happen if those proposed plans get Cabinet approval.
We've got a report that most of the Junkanoo groups are willing to be a part of this virtual. But of course, before any virtual recording could be done, it has to be done in person. And so that's where the in-person aspect came about. So right now, until they come back to me with those proposals, it's still up in the air.
Well, 'tis the season to take extra precautions to keep your home and business safe. Police on Grand Bahama visiting several busy areas on Monday, arming residents and businesses with holiday safety tips.
Not leave keys in the ignition running. Also do not leave valuables visible in the vehicles unattended. And at night time, if you're in your residence, please don't leave your windows open to the public, exposing valuables to persons passing. We look for opportunity to come inside and remove those stuff.
ASP Stephen Roll gives this advice to business owners in the community.
Those who find themselves moving large sums of cash, we want to advise them to, if they're not doing so already, secure an armored company to move your funds to and from the bank, to secure those funds for you, because there may be persons looking around, looking for opportunity to come and try to commit an offense. And if you're in doubt, you can always call on the police and we just assist you.
Still ahead, Greg is back with our weekday weather. Stay tuned.
Affordable, reliable internet connectivity is more crucial than ever. It's how we work, play, and connect to the people we love. That's why Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is the leader in enabling connective lifestyles and experiences. So we've created a campaign called Connecting People Who Care.
Here's how it works, exactly how it sounds. We've chosen 3 nonprofits who utilize Cable Bahamas services: the Bahamas Red Cross, Hands for Hunger, and Bahamas Harvest Church. Each of these groups has chosen a hero within their organization. The organization and hero to receive the most votes will be eligible for 6 months of free services, and our hero will be eligible for $5,000 in cash and prizes.
For more information or to vote for the person or organization you love, visit rev.bs/Connecting People Who Care.
Our winner will be announced live on Facebook during the week of Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to our news. Some rain and thunderstorms ahead. Greg is back in the Weather Center.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. On our satellite view, that boundary still hanging out across the central Bahamas. Moisture moving out of the Caribbean across our area will keep us under partly cloudy to cloudy skies. Possibility of a couple isolated showers with that boundary. We expect this to lift back towards the north by the end of the week, so showers and thunderstorms will be in the forecast Thursday into Friday. Boating forecast for all areas tonight. We have an advisory posted for you guys through tomorrow. Northeast to east winds at 15 to 25 knots. Very windy out there. Seas running 5 to 8 feet. Tide is presently high. Will be low at midnight tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Tuesday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.